Babies torn from loving hands. Who are you to decide? Breaking homes and taking lives. How can you justify? Howdy music lovers, Tom from Blakgraz here. Time for another episode of Guitar N Gab. In this one we're going to discuss Martha's driving skills and some other repairs that we remembered that we did on Rufus and some that developed since the last video. Let's get to it. Howdy y'all, so let's get right into this now. First, before I do, I just want to say thanks to Custom Build, Vaughn Shannon out of Austin, Texas, for Sandy here. This is one of his Wolf designs, and she is one of my favorites to play. Actually, all of them are my favorites. I can't say that. I say that about every guitar, it sounds like. I feel like a broken record when it comes to these guitars. So it's just amazing. So I wanted everybody to see her, but also to hear how well, I think it was Dave or Robert that agreed with me. These notes, they just ring when I hit these strings. It just goes and goes and goes, even on electric. Or I forget what was that fellow's name? He commented that he'd been a
older
pro
gentleman.
For
I don't remember.
Union member, and he was a pro he was in his 70s. Really nice fellow. And he commented about, I couldn't believe I was playing electric guitar on a video not plugged in. So here I am again, doing it again. Anyway. Also, I want to say thanks to Carolina Home and Gardens. They're going to have us back this year, and they gave us this t-shirt, and it's really, really comfortable too. It's such a nice shirt, and I really like the design on the back too. Now this place is incredible, actually. It's sort of like a greenhouse meets coffee bar meets wine bar meets Lowe's, because they're not
hardware, but they are but home and garden, literally, yeah, like a nursery.
That's it. It's a nursery, but it's so beautiful too, and they take such good care of it. They have huge space inside as well as outside that are all well kept and look beautiful. That I bet they have all kinds of weddings and parties and stuff there all year long. And when we were there, it actually was like a mist rain. Yet the place was mobbed. It was packed. In fact, if I remember correctly, there were 2 festivals that were canceled because of inclement weather. Mm-hmm. And I was playing on the Sunday after those festivals were canceled. So all those folks were in town for those festivals. They had gotten hotels expecting to stay and enjoy the festivals 2 in a row. And they'd all been canceled due to the weather. So everybody was still in town, so they all came to Carolina Home and Garden, and I got to play to hundreds of people inside this facility, and they were it was packed all the way through the place, even out into their greenhouse and into the far buildings in the back.
We did a video about it, and I was able to show video of how busy it was, and with you playing, and with just the whole place.
It was very cool. That was a fun show. So in this video though, also before I get too far into it, that song I started with is actually called Electric Tears, and it's one of my older Blakgraz songs I wrote a long time ago, and I'll let folks listen to it and decide what they think it's about. But I don't play it very often, because when I did play it at the Coffee Gallery in Altadena, California, a lady was so distraught by that song had such an impact on her emotionally that she was literally sobbing in the audience, and the manager at the end of the show said, "You can't ever play that song here again." I did end up speaking to her after the show, and she explained that she had lost her husband, or not her husband, her son had been murdered in Colombia, And so she was still kind of getting over that, and this song, that song reminded her of her son. And so I explained I never meant for that to be the result, or to cause her to be upset. And she apologized, and even her friends and family were saying, sometimes a song like that can help you heal. So I don't always play this song because I'm not always sure how it's going to be received. It's very slow and very quiet, and so it takes a really special circumstance to be able to get the meaning of the song across. So if you get a chance, go listen to Electric Tears by Blakgraz. There is actually a music video, and I think there's a lyric video too.
I did put up the lyric video.
Yeah. So yeah, I very rarely play that. Although I do have to kind of play it when I practice occasionally to keep the picking pattern in my fingers, because it's very specific. Even the solo has a very specific part. There's no just strumming and goodbye. It has each note is important, and the solo just is a very simple melody. You don't like this song? What's wrong? What's wrong, Rascal? You don't like that song? Security is
he saw a dog out there walking, so I don't know if it was that.
Oh.
He's already been out, so he shouldn't need to go out.
Did you see something? Is there something we need to look into? I know you're.
Oh, you know what? He might want one of these seats. He doesn't want to lay in front of the door.
Lay on the floor. That's all right, buddy.
We're working on getting the dog beds.
I'll be out of your way here in a second. He's like, my contract says if I'm doing security, I can lay on that seat. Is that what it says? Yeah. So anyway, back to Martha's driving skills. So Martha finally got a chance.
Clarify, Martha's driving skills regarding Rufus.
I was getting to it. Look, she's all defensive now. She's all nervous about what I'm going to say. So Martha finally got an opportunity to drive Rufus, our camper, which is a 35-foot diesel pusher. So it's a big camper with a big engine and 6 wheels, 4 in the back and 2 up front, and they're big tires. He takes wide turns, moves slow, and he stops slow, and big, heavy monster. Now, she's parked him and driven him around parking lots and stuff like that before.
Pulled him through for the gas, pardon me, or other stuff.
See, she's defensive. She's like, I've done stuff with this before. So anyway, she finally built up to being willing to drive him on the highway a little bit. And she picked a good day too. It was a sunny day. It was clear. The roads were not too busy.
Little windy.
We were going on, I forget where we were going to, but it was a nice good stretch of good highway that she wanted to try and drive on the highway. So just basically take him up the ramp onto the highway, drive the highway, and then get off at the ramp and let me park him where we were going. And she did great, for the record. But partway, just a few minutes into the drive,
about 20,
there was a
15
huge bang on the side of the camper. And I'm in the passenger seat.
You're sitting where you are right now.
Right here. And I didn't see anything in front of her. I didn't see anything to the side. And I'm like,
there's nobody around us.
How could you possibly have hit anything? There was nothing in the road. What was that noise?
Not even hanging from the
Not
shoulder.
coming from a tree, or nothing hanging down from, like, where did this sound come from? Well, it turns out the big, huge canopy on the side of Rufus that actually folds out and is like a nice little patio roof for when you sit outside of the camper at a campsite. The wind was blowing really hard that day, so it was kind of a good test for her because she could feel Rufus being pushed, on the highway.
Well, that, and then you have to get used to how it moves just in general on the highway, because when the road shifts, you have to gauge differently than a car, because you got a longer body to deal with when the road tilts one way versus another way, dipping wise, ultimately.
There's all kinds of adjustments that have to be made with Rufus.
Weird.
He's big. But the noise that shocked us, and we were both kind of like, what the heck was that? And it was like, oh man, now what, right? Just every other day. Anyway, so it was the canopy. What had happened? Well, a gust of wind so strong came up and caught up underneath. Now this thing rolls in with a big, huge spring. You got to pull hard to get this thing out. And then even if you get it out, you have to pull all the way down to get it to stay in place. I mean, it'll pop back up on its own, and it's heavy. And so when it comes down, you're supposed to turn the spring to keep it down, and then you turn the spring back to roll it back up again. There's a big spring loaded thing in there, and it's heavy, and it's designed, it's got 2 little clamps that flip up and hold it in place. So there's a lot working against it being pulled away from the camper at all. Well, apparently going 60 miles an hour and this gust of wind at the right angle not only pulled it out, but made the canopy kind of fold up funny because it was blowing it so hard that it was not folding in properly and had slammed up against the side of the camper. It pulled out and slammed. That's what we heard. Well, the good news is that Martha handled it like a pro. She was calm, she stayed on the road, she pulled over to the side and put on the hazards, and I went out and looked at it and found out what was going on.
Well, we saw it from the side mirror there.
Yeah,
so.
We noticed what it was when we were looking in the mirror before she stopped, and it's like, oh, it's the canopy. All right, well, let's make sure it's not damaged now. Fortunately, that's not a vital part for Rufus to keep rolling down the road, but it is really nice when we do get to camp, you know, kind of like what we're doing at this truck stop. We've got the slide out so there's more room. If we wanted to sit outside, we could put out the canopy.
Well, I'd say add to the spring in it, because you have to really pull to pull it out. So it's not super lightweight where it can just flop all the way out and then suddenly it looks like we have a side wing. You know, it actually has it's taut. So you have to really pull to be able to open up the canopy if you're going to use it. So it's not like it could just easily flop out and fold out on its own.
I thought I said that, but if
I'm clarifying
it wasn't
just
clear,
in case. Yeah.
If it wasn't clear, it is spring loaded and the spring is very strong. So there's a lot of force pushing it up against the camper as well as the 2 clamps. Well, since that's what occurred and everything was fine. The canopy was fine. It actually was pulled slightly off that we had to kind of push it back into place to get it to settle back in where it belongs. But nothing permanent. It was easy enough to kind of just push it back into spot, and then it was fine. So then we went to a Lowe's and we got some Velcro straps that were long enough to wrap around it a couple times and then to put the and tighten the Velcro down on it to help keep that from happening again. Those 2 clamps are good, but there's nothing. It doesn't go all the way around the arm that supports the canopy, and the arm itself is not round. It's kind of like a flat rectangle, rounded rectangle that goes up, and so that it hooks kind of like this around that arm, right? If it's a rectangle kind of like that, it hooks like this, and it had popped off. So the pressure had been so great that it had popped that thing off and almost bent this bracket a little bit. Not all the way, but just enough. So it wasn't permanently damaged, but we did need, if that's going to be Texas wind, which is what it was in Texas where it happened, we needed something that would for sure wrap all the way around it, and the Velcro made sense. It was only a couple bucks, and they both fit and sit right above where those 2 clamps are. So now we've got Velcro all the way around it that holds that in place.
I was gonna say it was a few bucks and easy to get at a hardware store. So anybody who has an RV, definitely consider having that just in case.
Oh man, yeah, I would strongly encourage any other RV owner, if you have a canopy like this that folds out this way, it's not one of the ones that comes like this, it just folds this way. I would strongly encourage you to get those Velcro wraps, and especially if you do as much driving as we do, and strap it in there to make sure that does not come out. It was not pleasant. It gave us a heart attack. But everything was okay. That's the good news. So it must not have come out too far, but far enough just to give us a shock. So the spring did its job. Yep. All right, so the other thing I forgot to mention in the last video of stuff with Rufus that we did is I actually replaced the toilet paper roll holder, which is just kind of a funny thing to say, yeah, I fixed the toilet roll holder. The one that had been in him originally was plastic, and it was actually breaking, right? So plastic just breaks. So I got a nice one from Lowe's, and it's this nice black one. I put that on there. It looked really good. And then the next thing we had happen, was there another thing I fixed also I forgot about?
No, it was the straps and then that. But then
Right.
you had to redo the one thing, which I think you're going into.
The toilet?
Yeah.
So I talked in the last video about putting a new seal on the toilet and the toilet bowl ball not sealing properly. Well, it turns out that I didn't tighten the bracket that holds the porcelain toilet to the fixture that has the flush mechanism on it tight enough. And so we had a little bit of a leak. And man, there is nothing worse than a sewage leak. Oh my God, it stank to high heaven. And I didn't really notice it right away. And so it, over the course of a day or two, since I put that seal in, it must have been leaking just a little bit down in on top of the black tank. So it was coming out. I found the leak. Plus I had to put in that new valve.
Yes.
So I don't know if I mentioned that.
You
I
put in
did
the
put
new valve, and we
valve.
thought that, you know, and then that was quick and easy.
So
but the seal had to be redone because it didn't quite line up.
Right. So the valve is the part where it's a foot pedal flush, and you push down on this, and that pushes in a valve that has water coming in and then going out. So it kind of looks like this. So I just had to take that piece out and put on a new one. That was easy. And actually I got it to go back in and it wasn't leaking, and that was super, super easy replacement. So in the process of doing that, I'm like, man, why? I thought that the only reason there was still a smell in the toilet was because, in the bathroom that is, was because the ball was not sealing properly. It wasn't until I got under there to replace the valve, so thank God I'd noticed the valve was leaking.
Yeah.
I noticed that there was water coming from the back of the toilet near the seal. Because basically when you set the porcelain down on the fixture, that's where the new seal goes, and the ball is right there. But it was coming from back behind there and dripping down the outside of the fixture, from between the porcelain and the black down onto the top of the black tank. And then I think it went from the black tank down on top, which is above the fresh tank. So it must have come over this way because of the shape of the black tank, dripped down and got onto some of the top of the fresh tank. Holy cow. You talk about the worst smell in the world. And it's not even so much that it was, you know, like number 1 or number 2 smell. It was ammonia. It was so
pungent.
It burnt. The ammonia smell was so bad, it felt like it was burning your throat if you breathed it in. Your eyes water, you know, it was so, it just stung your eyes. So I figured out what happened. I took off the toilet and reset the seal, wiped everything down, cleaned it off, it was disgusting, and put it back on the ball and back onto the fixture, the porcelain piece, and then put the clamps back on. Now this time it had that metal bracket that holds those clamps in place that clamped down the porcelain part in the fixture. When I did it the first time, I tightened it with a screwdriver, that metal clamp on the outside, and I just tightened it as hard as I could with a screwdriver, and I thought that should be good. I mean, it's twisting and it's turning that clamp so it goes in a little bit at a time. It should hold it. Well, this time I wasn't taking any chances because I knew the leak was coming from back there. I got a ratchet set and I cranked down on that sucker and I tightened it up until I just felt like I was gonna break it. And I don't want to break it, obviously, but son of a gun, if not only did it stop leaking in the back, but now the ball is holding water, and we already ordered another ball. So we're gonna have an extra now, which is not a bad thing.
Well, and you said when you were cranking down to tighten it, it didn't seem like it was properly connected even beforehand too, right?
No, I wasn't sure if the plastic clamps that hold those two pieces in place were on the right way or not.
Oh, that's what it was.
Because
yeah.
they don't come together. They don't fit tight together. They fit like this.
Yeah.
So there's space, and so I put them front and back because that's probably where most of the pressure would have been anyway. And then I just really cranked down on it, and it seems like that time it worked. So now the ball is holding water. Now there's no sewer leak from the back of the toilet, and the valve doesn't leak, except we've got this massive stink, and it was burning our eyes. We had to sleep with the vent on in the bathroom and the door shut so that we weren't breathing in ammonia all night. So we had to clean out underneath the cabinets that were under the sink, because the toilet is right here, and then there's a little cabinet that comes out here, and the small sink here. So we had to pull everything out and clean down below there. Then I had to go down underneath and climb in through this really tight space. Man, if you're claustrophobic, you would not be able to do this. I got in all the way waist deep, and I'm like this, you know, I'm trying to get paper towels off, and I'm holding my chin to pull the paper towel because this arm can't come back. Everything is so tight.
And I'm holding a flashlight from
and
a different
she's holding
angle.
light, and I've got a light in front of me, and I'm reaching on top of the fresh tank as far as I can with these big thick blue gloves to clean whatever it is that's up there. Now, whatever I wiped up, it was black, and it maybe it was the source of some of the smell. So I got that, and she had made a disinfectant spray for me, and we got that up there, and I sprayed and wiped and did that. So that all got cleaned. That probably has not been cleaned up there for 26 years. So I don't know if it was the sewer stuff that I got, or if it was just that it was that dirty. But it was black once I was done, and I was throwing that into a plastic bag, and then I had to let out all the air in my lungs to be able to get out, or else you start to feel like you're stuck, right? It's like rock climbing. You're climbing through a part, and you have to breathe out so that you shrink your rib cage to slip through a really tight spot. That's exactly what I was doing. And it was a little unnerving there for a minute, because I was trying to get out, and I'm like, my arms are like this, and I'm like, I'm not getting out. Okay.
You got in.
All right, let it all out. And, oh man, it was brutal. So I had my Rufus work clothes on, fortunately, so it didn't matter if I got dirty. Then the other process was I could see where the black tank pipe connects up to the toilet down into the top of the black tank. So I had to imagine that whatever that leak did, it came down the outside of that black tank and then hit the top of the black tank. Now I couldn't reach up through there because it's just too much to get to it. But I could see straight line of sight to it, which means I could take a spray bottle that Martha made for me of this disinfectant and deodorizer and spray it right at the pipe itself, and just drench the pipe and have it come down and drip down. And I saw it dripping because it had come down the side of the black tank too, as well as back onto the fresh tank. So spray enough that it would drip back down, and then I could wipe the side of the black tank and just hope that I dilute enough of whatever was on top of the black tank with this disinfectant.
So I'd say real quick, it was half equal parts water, vinegar, and I also added in baking soda. Had to wait till the fizz to die down so it wouldn't tighten up and then make the spray bottle leak on itself. And then I just added in lemon and pine essential oils, which are all disinfectant, natural cleaning and smells and stuff like that. So,
well, it worked perfectly, because sure enough, today I left it open too with fans in there to dry stuff out.
Before we went to bed,
we went to bed, and then when we went to bed, I shut it down. And then as soon as the sun came up today, I got out and opened it up again, and it already didn't smell. It already was good. So I sprayed again halfway through the day just to make sure, and then left it open. In fact, I'm about to go out there and close it up because it's been fine since then. And now we've had the bathroom venting as well the whole time. So that was the fun adventures on Rufus with the toilet. Now, the lesson here is that you got to make sure you seat a new seal on a toilet properly, or you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
And of course, the new lesson is with the canopy, right, is that I didn't even think that was possible. That spring is so hard to hold it up against the canopy or the camper. I never would have imagined that it could actually, a wind could blow strong enough to actually pull it away, because it's all rolled up in there. There's no surface to grab. It's even got a metal outside that blocks the wind from, or rain even, from getting on the canopy at all. So it was really, it must have been a really strong gust of wind, and it got it just right, and then continued and blew it out and then snapped back. And the good news is it snapped back.
Yeah.
So,
took a second to do it, to push it and line it right. You had to do it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So that was the exciting adventure of Martha driving and me working on the toilet. So another hard lesson learned. I'm grateful for it, and I'm looking forward to when I'm rich and famous and I can pay people to do that stuff for me.
All right. Well, we contemplated, if we had to, getting a new toilet, and that's where I would just pay like Camping World to do it. Like just do it. We're not doing it, just do it.
When we get a new toilet, it's going to, at this point now, especially since we've invested in certain parts, I'm just going to wait until we strip Rufus down to the frame and rebuild everything, which is the goal. And I've said that in the other video. The goal is to just take him down to the frame, treat all of the rest, rebuild the motor completely brand new, bring it all up and just exactly the way that we want it, so that when he drives down the road, he is shiny and new looking and drives one. Now, one of the things I've said this to Martha too, one of the things I'm looking forward to with Rufus, when we finally can do that, is that when we drive down the road, he'll be not just feel more secure, he'll be quieter. There'll be less kind of jostling around. There'll be stuff that's not, everything will be tightened down, right? And so part of the redesign of him is going to be to reinforce him in ways that will make him more secure, more stable, handle better, and be easier on us because we drive a lot. And so it can be real tiring on your body. I mean, these truck drivers, they're right on top of their engines all the time. Their full-time job is to hear that thing just going and beating them up sound-wise. Ours, fortunately, is in the back, so it's away from us. But it's still, when you're driving that much, there's the beat, the road, you take a beating on the road, the movement and everything, it can be exhausting. So anything I can do to get Rufus to be quieter and feel more secure, that's what I'm gonna do. So he's dreaming. Are you dreaming? It's okay, buddy. You all right? Security job, sleeping on the job, as usual.
But despite all of that, we do have good news.
We do have some excellent news, actually, and thank you for the reminder. We just booked today with Lisa T out of Tuscumbia, Alabama. We miss you. Big hugs if you're watching this. To play her May
Day
Music Fest.
It's the sixth one.
This will be our 6th music festival. Third.
No,
for this.
her 6th.
Oh, it's 6th.
Her 6th annual.
6th annual. How many have we done? 5?
Well, we did tobacco, Carrollton County Tobacco. We did Founders Day.
Right.
We did the aviation one up in
St. Mary's with West Wing.
Yeah, we'll be doing
West Wind.
Yeah, West Wind. We'll be doing the car show
Lexington, South
in
Carolina.
Lexington.
Anthony's,
we'll be doing hers.
Kansas.
And then we'll be doing the Middle of Everywhere.
Middle of Everywhere and the May Day Music Fest. So
yeah,
6.
So we got,
it is 6.
Yeah.
So that'll be our 6th festival. Blakgraz has played. It's incredible what's starting to occur. And actually 3 of them are going to be this year. 3 of them
are this year. April is the South Carolina one. That's for a good cause. That's
April
for burn
11th.
Victims. The one for her in May is about helping local veterans. I forget.
For housing.
For housing, that's what it was. And then the other one is Middle of Everywhere Music Festival in September, Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, so it's an honor actually to be asked to play these things because I know some of them are for just incredible causes, and so to be able to, for people to say, hey, would you mind coming and playing your songs? We would think people are really going to enjoy what you do. Man, that is the best feeling in the world. I would love to. And so it's so cool to find out. And actually it was Martha that saw it. Lisa is in charge of it. She actually is, she lives in Tuscumbia. She's a DJ, and she's had a whole bunch of...
she was a radio DJ.
She was a radio DJ,
yeah.
And she has a whole bunch of experience, a career in music, the music industry.
We met her back when you played at Kingpin's there in Tuscumbia in 2024.
So it's been a while since we've
the beginning
seen
of
her
2025,
too.
Yeah.
So she offered to help as much as she could, and then asked at a point early on if we could do a festival, but we were already out of the area and we just couldn't afford it. But this time we're actually going to be close, and so it's like, well, hey, we're going to be close. Martha saw the date, checked the calendar. We're going to be in Albertville, so it's just a short jaunt over to her. It's like, hey, can we come and do your festival? She's like, shoot, I'll make you the headliner. I was like, even better. That's wonderful. We just wanted to play, to help out. So that was really exciting to line that up today. So I'm thoroughly excited. Now here's the best part, right?
That's 79 shows already for the year, too.
That is show number 79 for 2026. Even better, Tuscumbia, if you're not familiar with, is right next to Muscle Shoals, the famous Muscle Shoals, like Sweet
Sound
Home
Studio, yep.
Sweet Home Alabama Muscle Shoals, right? Leonard Skinner, Sweet Home Alabama Muscle Shoals, and the Rolling Stones, Linda Ronstadt, Willie Nelson, all these artists that recorded at that studio. It's right down the road. That's when we first played Kingpins in Tuscumbia. I went the next day and did that video of us visiting Muscle Shoals studio. Now here's why it's going to be so cool. Not just because we get to go back there. We're going to go visit the museum again and tell everybody howdy. But because I have a song called Alabama Bam Bam. And I just finished writing it and I have not played it out live yet. So y'all in this video are hearing about a historic moment for Blakgraz. I am going to be playing it here next week, I think, that to get started doing it and getting comfortable with it before I hit Alabama.
Potential new Alabama state song.
Yeah, right. I'm going to say, basically, I'm going to lay claim. Did you know that Alabama has a new state song? Did you know that? Yeah, here it is. And I'm going to start playing the song. So now we're going to be playing at Tuscumbia, Alabama, right? And I'll have this song, Alabama Bam Bam, right down the road from Muscle Shoals. Son of a gun, and I did not know this when I wrote this song. I did not. We just got the show today. In the second verse, it says, Alabama's got the world famous Muscle Shoals. Know the way to make your life turn into gold. I had no idea that we'd be going back to Muscle Shoals so quick, but here it is. Divine intervention. Martha finds the show. Lisa puts us as headliner, and I've got the song that talks about Muscle Shoals. I can't think of more. What is that called? Synchronicity?
Yeah.
A better positive synchronicity falling into place, right? For things to happen and become very exciting for Blakgraz. So anybody watching this video, you are literally witnessing history unfold right before your very eyes. And it is super, super exciting to share it with you. So, all right, I'm going to stop there. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you give a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, huge thanks for all the support to everybody. Check out the links down below. We've got CDs for sale and merchandise. We've also got merchandise at the live shows. And I think that's pretty much it for now.
Well, every Tuesday.
Oh yeah, Tuesday lives. Don't forget to tune in on
right here on YouTube.
Right here on YouTube. We do every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central, an hour-long live, which always seems to turn into an hour and a half or more, just because they're so much fun. So until then, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Oh, before you go, most important, more than anything else, thank you for the support, but even better, please come to a live show so I can shake your hand, look you in the eye, and say thank you in person. All right, see you next time.